What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start this show by being transparent. Yesterday ended up being a good day for myself. The one game I said I didn't want to talk about, didn't want to think about, I ended up thinking about it later, making a play, and that was the one loser. I should have just stayed away. Pistons plus 2.5, never had a chance. Um, Other than that, the Rockets was a good one. Um, The Blazers. I faded my Lakers. That was a good one. And I'm blanking out on the last one, but it was a 3-1. 3-1. Oh, Trey Jones over 5.5 assists. That was easy as well. So 3-1 day overall. Try to keep that going in the NBA. And we got Rob Veno joining us back. So great to have you back, Rob Veno. How's everything been for you?
Things are good. Skee had a weekend in Connecticut with families. I was missing in action, but back today. Last night was good for me. 2-1. Had one in every single sport. Had the Dodger team total over 4.5. That worked. Had the Celtics in the NBA team total over 116.5. That worked. But in the NFL, it didn't work. I had the Commanders team total over 17.5 and only got 7. So we had a 2-1 day. But again, I'll just say this: 7-1 in the NFL again last weekend. We're up over 50 units on the season. It's like 62 units the last 6 weeks. So NFL continues to be great.
Yeah, good work on that. I forgot to mention I got involved yesterday and did a little bit too much. Went 1-2 in NFL yesterday. So overall, week 8 was good, 5-3, but disappointed with how I handled yesterday. Looking at a couple more comments. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Look at my rookie of the year from the trenches. Yeah, VJ's been balling, man. He definitely looks damn good. I was a fan on when he was on Baylor, and he's looking even better here in the NBA. There goes you, Capper. You see that one there, Vino?
More peaches.
Just team totals. All right, let's get to some actionable info. You know what? Before we actually do that,
Mhm.
you guys probably know. You guys are probably there too. But Vino and myself, we are tired today. Staying up all night watching the Dodgers finally get that W. I mean, you guys know I'm a LA guy. You can see all the stuff in the back. I love the Dodgers. So I'm not going to sleep until that game is over. And I'm paying for it today. So I'm happy, but I'm tired. Just FYI. Anything you want to mention before we get started, Vino?
It's same thing. I've been a Dodger fan my whole life. My dad was a Brooklyn Dodger fan, so raised me a Dodger fan. And on the East Coast here, Ski, it was 10 of 3 in the morning when that game ended, and it's just. But you can't leave the game. You got to stay with it, and thank goodness it turned out the right way as a Dodger fan. So we are operating on a little less sleep today. That's for sure.
All right, absolutely. All right, let's get to it. Rotation order, like we always do. 5 games in the association. That means number one is 541, 542. Philly and Washington opened up Philly -5. Still see 5. Total open 237.5. Seen it as high as 239.5. Have to look at the injury report. Looks like Embiid will play this time around. Paul George, McCain, and Barlow remain out. For Washington, you have Trey Johnson and Bilal. I'm sorry, Trey Johnson questionable. Bilal is out. Vino, these 76ers did play last night. They got another W. 76ers looking pretty feisty, looking pretty good. Now, could that all be messed up with the return of Joel Embiid back into the lineup? We shall see. I really like those guards. They like to play fast. They're good, athletic. I don't want Joel Embiid slowing them down if I'm a Sixers backer. So I don't like that. I would try to make a case for the Wizards with a slight rest advantage here at home. What say you, Ravino?
But it's hard to make a case for a lot of these teams with the defense that we see going on in the NBA, Ski, or the lack of defense. And I don't know that I'm with you. Edgecombe and Maxi certainly won't be tired. It's a 3rd and 4 nights for
Right.
Philadelphia. Those guys are still going to run. I don't know that Embiid, although he'll take more shots, I don't know that he slows it down any more than Adam Bona and Andre Drummond. That's a slow pair of centers there. So, I think they'll still go with pace. They do limit Embiid here in back-to-backs. That's why he didn't go last night, ready to go here. But I don't know that I could play against that backcourt right now. And we see movement in the line up to 5.5. I don't know that I want to lay 5.5 in what should be a high scoring game. I think total has been bumped up as well to 239.5. By the way, I'll just give our first of many shout outs this year to our good buddy who we've already seen in the comments section, Ronald Kabang, the Money Baller. Now his website, moneyballer.com, extremely useful now that we have 5 games in the books here. Where we have a little bit of data for the rest of the season. Now, guys, if you don't have a subscription, go ahead and subscribe to Ronald's website. Absolutely helpful each and every day. I would say, Skee, that I don't know. Again, we're getting into these 240s almost routinely on a nightly basis. I started the first couple of nights tracking these totals, 12-2 to the over. It's continued to be an over world. I don't know that I could get there tonight. Like I say, I think the Sixers will be okay. I just don't want to lay the 5.5. Didn't play it. But I'm not going to argue anybody off of Philly right now. I just from being in the area and being on the, listening to the media and the fan base here and some of the team post game, they're on a confidence high right now. Philly didn't play well last year, and I don't want to, stand in front of that train at this point in time.
I get it. The one game they played as a favorite, they didn't cover. I'll point that out. And I'll also point out that the Sixers team, I mean, do we really trust them defensively? I don't.
No.
I know Embiid will help with some rim protection, but like I just don't trust this team to get stops. And if I can't trust you to get stops, I'm not trusting you to win by a few possessions. That's just my thought process, especially on a back-to-back, where I think, the first thing to go when it's tired legs is defense. So I would lean towards Washington in this one. And as far as the total, I mean, 2 of the 3 Washington games so far already cleared 250. We've had, 2 really high scoring games for Philly outside of that first one too. I can understand why this total is high. I mean, both teams actually no. The Sixers pace numbers wise so far is 21st. And it could, look like 21st again with Joel out there. But I know the Wizards like to run. Maxey and Edgecombe like to get out. It's either over or Wizards for me. But what I will get to the window with, and somebody mentioned, who was it here? It was Cody. He mentioned, he spelled his name wrong, but Keyshawn George, no E in the beginning there, Cody. He's going with just his points. I like his PRA. And somebody else's, I just saw, there we go. Damon likes his PRA as well. I mean, this guy's he's looking like he can potentially be an all-star in the near future. He's doing everything for this team, scoring on tough match like that Dallas Mavericks team. As much as they struggle on offense, right? We think they have some defenders. They got a lot of length. He was scoring on them easily. He's rebounding. Because he's so good at scoring, it gets other people open. He's had 4 assists, I think, in every game. I think his PRA is worth a look. His assist prop was 3.5. I thought about that, but I don't want to. Not include the points. In his last game, I think he maybe didn't shoot so well, and also was in foul trouble, fouled out actually. But I think it's a nice bounce back spot today for Keyshawn George. So, yeah, that's what I'm rocking with in that one. A couple more comments before let's see what this one says. Are you guys not worried about back-to-backs this early in the season? Is it still handicapped the same way, say later in the year for back-to-back? I mean, I'll say, obviously, I got asked kind of the same thing on Twitter. Obviously, the rest advantage will matter the more the season goes on. These games, everything will accumulate. It does matter slightly less in the beginning of the season, but an advantage is still an advantage. Like I told the guy on Twitter, just for an example, if you have, and this is the Rockets yesterday, right? You have the Nets on a back to back. Yeah, they're young. Yeah, it's early in the season. Back to back, had to travel. You have a Rockets team, 2 days off, didn't have to travel. Seems advantageous to me, no matter what part of the season it is. What do you think, Rob Veno?
I'm going to agree with both you guys. I think I take it a little less into account back to back beginning of the season. Legs are still fresh. But I will say, and we'll get to this with the Golden State game, the difference where I separate it is if it's back to back with travel or if it's back to back and you're staying at home. Back to back with travel is much different than getting to stay home. So, I mean, we will get to the game, but just for the example, Golden State in back to backs had to go to Portland last Friday night. I think it was lost by 20. Here they're going to play the Clippers back to backs, but they are at home. So I think it makes a difference, Skee, if it's with travel early in the year. And as you mentioned, once we get, I don't know how to quantify it with a number, 25 games into the season, 20, 25 games into the season. Once it gets to that point, and then you get some injuries on a team in a back to back too, it's going to make a bigger difference as we go on for sure.
100%. UCapper says we also have to think about how the books are adjusting as well. And Josh reminds everybody to hit the like button, says thanks for the content and insight, Skee and Rob. Appreciate you, Josh. And it definitely helps out the show. You guys could hit that button. All right, let's keep going. Next is 543, 544. Charlotte and Miami. Opened up Miami minus 4.5. We'll call it 5.5. Total open 234. Skyrocket. All the way as high as, I'm seeing a 241.5. Make sure you line shop. I see a 239.5 out there. I see everything in between, and I see a 241.5. So always important to get the best number you can get. As far as an injury report is concerned, Trey Mann is questionable. You have Josh Green, Brandon Miller, Grant Williams all out. For the Heat, Fontecchio is probable. Norman Powell's been downgraded to questionable. Terry Rozier, we all know where that guy is. Tyler Hero, he's out. And I can't never say his name. Yakachonis. I think that's how you say his name. He's out as well. I'm just gonna pass it straight to you and say, I'm almost certain that you have a bet on this game. Yeah, let us know, Rob.
Well, it's to use one of your phrases, Skee, with Charlotte, it's a one-way ticket at this point in time. You're either gonna play Charlotte games over, or you're just going to think that the price is too high, that the odds maker has adjusted too much, and you lay off. The part about Miami maybe missing key starter here is a little bit problematic. But when you look at them, and again, I don't know what to make of Orlando right now, Skee. Orlando has not played any defense whatsoever to start the season. 4 games in, no defense shown whatsoever out of Orlando. They're supposed to be a very good defensive team. You had Desmond Bane. Miami scored a huge number on Orlando. Memphis doesn't play any defense, just play with pace. They scored a huge number on them. Miami has made a concerted effort this season, as they've told us, to play quicker. Gets to be a tempo game, back and forth. These teams are starting to show us that 240 is like the new 260. It's pretty easy barrier to get over at 240 right now. So for me, it would probably be total over or nothing. However, we'll just backtrack here for a second and use another one of the phrases on this show: ass end of the line. We don't want to get there's the peaches for you, Ronald. The ass end of the line. We don't want that side of it. 234 got in early. Very good number to play over. 241, maybe a bit too late. 240.5, I think, is what I see the majority of as I look here, Skee, right now. But I wouldn't talk anybody into under for sure. You can probably still have a little wiggle room at 240.5. We'll see. I didn't play it. I don't have a ticket on that game. So, again, with Charlotte, it's got to be over or nothing. Fast with no defense is how they play.
And Miami has changed their style too.
Right.
They're running. I think they're playing at the fastest pace in the league so far this season. Whoever grabs the rebound, let's go. That's what I see from when I'm watching. So I can understand why this total has skyrocketed up. Can't talk anybody off of looking that way. I know you get the ass into the line now, but it's just hard for me when I know these teams want to run, and I know Charlotte's not the best defensive team. Hard for me to tell somebody to look the other way besides over. As far as the side is concerned, the Heat have looked good, but I don't know about laying points with them. I just don't view them as that team. You downgraded Norman Powell. He could miss this game. I mean, you miss Norman Powell. That's a hell of a lot of offense you're missing there for Miami too. That would affect the total too, right? So I think that's when I would wait from, he's very important to whatever you're betting. If it's Miami or over. Um for myself, I'm gonna take advantage of Brandon Miller being out in this one. I think that it's a lot of minutes to go around. Um and Knipple, I forgot, is it Knipple, however you say his name, the guy from Duke. um he's looked good to start this year. The coaches are impressed with what they've seen from him. They're talking about him. LaMelo is impressed. He's saying, he looks good. They like when he's out there on the court, is what I'm saying. That's what they've said. So Brandon Miller, that's a lot of minutes missing in this game. I think a good amount of them go to Canupo, and he's going against a Heat team who, I mean, we already talked about should be a lot of possessions in this game, right? Con- you capper.
Actually,
uh,
it's the right way to say it, though. Honestly, shame on
but
his parents.
both teams, it's gonna be a lot of possessions, right? And Miami is, again. I might have watched a little bit through some tequila pineapple lenses. Shout out to Chad. Had Chad come and hook me up with some tequila pineapples. Um, shout out Rico too, man. Rico too. But the Heat, they'll pack the paint. They'll force you to shoot threes. They'll force you as far away from the basket as they can. And they're just allowing the second most corner threes, allowing, I think the eighth most above the break threes so far. He's shooting 57.9% from three. I mean, I know it probably won't stay like that, but he's a sharpshooter. He got a flamethrower. So if they're giving him any kind of space, I can see him taking advantage. That combined with the minutes uptick, I like Con Knipple, whatever you want to call him, man. I
The guy
like him
from
tonight.
Duke.
The guy from Duke over 13 and a half points is what I'm looking at in that one. All right. Next game up. Kings and OKC opened up 10 and a half point favorites for the Thunder. Looks like 10. Total open 227 and a half. Not a whole lot of movement there. As far as the injuries are concerned, for Sacramento, Clifford and Keegan Murray out. For OKC, Caruso and Joe and Jalen Williams, all doubtful. Topic, Kenrick Williams, both listed as out here. This is a back-to-back for this Thunder team. I feel like they've been playing like every day, damn near almost every other day for sure. But yeah, I think it's third and four, fourth and six, something like that. It also is the first game home after a 3-game road trip. For Sacramento, little bit of a rest advantage and a chance for them to bounce back after losing to the Lakers. Do we trust them though? I mean, this Kings team, I've said how disgusting uh, the how do I say how disgusting the collective group has been put together in my eyes. Um, you got some guys who can score. You don't really have anybody who can get a stop. I mean, Schroeder's a solid defender, but I don't trust him to get stops. Now in this game, it's interesting because you know how I say, in order to win by big margins, you got to shoot the three well, defend the three well, right? Um, OKC usually does, but I still see them missing a couple guys. Isaiah Joe, probably the big sharpshooter for them. JW missed a lot of points. He could shoot too. I'm not sure Caruso's percentage, but Caruso does bring a lot to the table as far as covering these big games as well. And you've been missing these guys the whole time to start the season. Yeah, OKC is 4-0 so far, but they've only covered one game, I believe. So I just think until this team gets healthy, until you get all that offense and shooting back, it's hard for me to trust them to win by these big margins. Um, so on a back-to-back here, as much as I dislike the Kings, I would prefer to look towards them plus the 10. What do you think about that, Rob Veno?
I think I would play that way on side, just because OKC was actually in a struggle last night with the Mavericks. And so, not that this is a long distance to travel from Dallas to Oklahoma City, but it's still back to back with travel back home. It wasn't, we talk about first game back at home, right? Skee sometimes not good for the home favorite. I think 10's an awful lot here. I like the fact that Sabonis came back into the lineup last game, had a double-double, small scoring, but like 10 and 14 boards. Helps against the bigs of OKC. I think this game is more of an over, to tell you the truth. Last night, the Thunder and Mavericks played a 195 game total. Oklahoma City did not shoot well whatsoever. 6 of 30 from 3. That probably changes against the Kings, who don't play a lot of defense. But as you mentioned, the Kings have a lot of scores. And Dennis Schroeder, for what it's worth, does bring pace to the game. OKC generally won't back down from pace. I think 227 is kind of a small number here to get up and over. I would trust that more than I would trust Sacramento taking points. But I still would be on that side if I had to play it. I don't think I would want to lay 10 with OKC. You mentioned the guys out for the Thunder, led by Caruso. And it's just, we talk about the way they play harassing style defense, and Caruso's always the head of that monster, the harassment style. So without him, don't think they're as good as defensively. I think I like 227.5 as a total up and over.
I could see that. Man, I'm just looking a little bit more on this one. I like this comment. Dante says Kings first quarter rated inside the 10 and net. Just was embarrassed to come out and keep it close early. I can understand that. Josh says like the beam. I'm trying to get there, man. This could be one of those dirty dogs. I mean, Kings is filthy, man. Disgusting. But trying to find ways they can have some success. Looking at, again, the money baller, shout out to our guy RC. The Thunder do allow the most mid-range attempts. Going up against DeMar DeRozan, um, no surprise that the Kings are number one in mid-range attempts. Maybe he has some success in that mid-range. The Thunder also allow the most corner threes. Kings shooting a corner three, fourth best this season, top 10 in attempts from that corner three. Maybe it's just middies, and if they help, kick it to that corner. And Kings have guys who can knock it down. So, yeah, it's just OKC is not doing enough. They don't have the guys that I like for them to create the separation that we're used to. So, I do see a road to success for Sacramento. Very well could be on Sacramento plus 10. Anything else before we move on, Rob Veno?
Yeah, I just put the show on pause, Skee, because I talked myself into it, and then just hearing the mid-range numbers. I'm going to play right now. In fact, I'm playing right now the Sacramento team total up and over 108.5, win, lose, or draw. I think they get to 109 here. You talked earlier about, and I'm in agreement with this, that I'm back-to-backs with travel. Defensive legs go first. I don't know that Oklahoma City is going to show a lot of defensive effort here for some portions of this game. So I'm locking in right now for those who are interested at 108.5 team total over for the Kings. So I'm now good. Well, wait a minute. Let's make sure it spins and goes through. Sometimes it doesn't go through. Okay, and we can move on now. Yeah, over 108.5 Sacramento Kings team total.
I like it. I think that I think that's a good way to approach this one. All right, and I'm looking at the Kings game log. Yeah, they haven't covered a game, haven't won a game, or they've won one game, haven't covered a game, but Haven't lost by double digits. No, they haven't
It's
played the
kind of
Thunder, but we'll see.
kind of a way to trust them, but not trust them, Skee.
Hey, I feel you on that. I feel you on that because it's tough to trust these Kings. So that could definitely be a good one. UCapper says back with the team totals, and Cody wants to lock it
Out
in
with the
with you.
peaches.
Star Child, he likes the first half over in this one. What would be the reason not to like the second half here? I mean, I can't talk you off of first half, but I don't know what the reason would be to stay off the second half. So let me see anything else we have here. Matt says -10 OKC. They beat the Hawks to the spread, a better team. The Hawks, I believe, were on a back-to-back in that game, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but I think they were on a back-to-back. Um, Mark likes the Kings early. He says OKC gets out late. So a lot of guys with different opinions here. Um, and Josh says Kings have 4 guards starting last game. Probably will be the same again today. That would make me think that we can get some, faster paced game and more points. All right. 2 more games left here, Rob Veno. 547, 548. New York Knicks, Milwaukee Bucks. Opened up Knicks -1. Looks like, well, it's as high as -3. Total open 230.5. We'll call 229.5 a consensus. You have, let me refresh here. Cole Anthony is questionable. Trent, he's probable. I'm sorry. Cole Anthony's probable. Trent also probable. KPJ is out. For the Knicks, Cat is probable. McBride is questionable. So is Yabusele. And then Mitchell Robinson is out. This, I feel like the Knicks haven't looked as good as I thought that they should. And I feel like the Bucks have shown a little bit of something. I mean, I know they're missing KPJ. They could look better, but I think the Bucks have looked better than people expected. Here they are at the house. They'll have the best player on the court. Will that be enough? I mean, you really got to win this game at the short number. Will that be enough to win this game, or how are you looking at it, Rob?
Well, a couple of ways. The first thing, fundamentally, I don't like the fact that it's very possible you're missing both point guards. Kevin Porter Jr. out, Cole Anthony questionable, right? Is that the latest update you just had? Questionable.
Probable.
Oh, probable. Okay, so then they're not missing 2 point guards. Anthony probably plays. That makes a little bit of a difference. The main handicap here, Skee, is whether or not you think the Knicks are just that much better than Milwaukee. They beat them 3 times last year, or whether or not you think triple revenge comes into account here. Giannis certainly remembers a lot of things, remembers that the Knicks beat them solidly 3 times last year. Do they get up for this one? Is this one that's circled by the Bucks? I would tend to lean that way. My line of thinking would be that Milwaukee, as they try to make their way back up the East ladder, knows that New York is one of those teams. So you probably get a max effort. I also played them this season win total, just because I liked what they had for a lineup, a deep rotation. And I liked the fact that they were able to win 48 last year with a lot of things going against them as far as injury and suspension were concerned. So I think I would lean Milwaukee. Have not played this game yet, but I kind of like the revenge angle a little bit more than the Knicks are just that much better than the Bucks, and that's why they beat them badly 3 times last year. So for me, especially if Cole Anthony plays, I would lean that way. The thing that held me off to begin with was I thought maybe both point guards wouldn't be playing here.
I agree with this statement from Cody. It says 8.5 for AJ Green is insane for a dude getting multiple threes a game and 30 minutes of playing time. Yeah, he is going to be spacing the floor. I think he's shot at least 5 attempts, 3-point attempts each game, and he's a good shooter. So I think there could be some value on that 8.5 for AJ Green. All right, let's keep going down the list. Last game on the slate here, Rob Veno. Clippers and Warriors opened up -1.5 for the Warriors. We have seen a flip of favorites. Now -2 for the Clippers. Total open 228. It has come down. Seen it as low as 224 and a half. And if we look at the injury report, Bill is out, Miller and Sanders out for the Clippers. Horford is probable, Tuhey is doubtful, Melton is out for the Warriors. Warriors on a back-to-back here. I think it's also their fourth game in 6 nights. Clippers, slight rest advantage here. Um, Clippers, they haven't been really impressive to me. I know you had that win versus Phoenix, but I don't think Phoenix is good. Um, Golden State, I do like what I've seen. But the last time they were in a similar situation, the last time was, back to back with travel, they lost by 20 points. So we'll see if the back to backs are a little bit too much for the old guys here. But this is a game with, I mean, it is both teams are the old guys, but one set of old guys has a little bit more rest than the other. So, Vino, do you think that'll be the deciding factor tonight? Or how are you looking at Clippers and Warriors?
I did make a small play on Clippers here. Skee would have been a little bit bigger if, in fact, this game was played in LA and Golden State had to travel. A couple of things here. I just never trust Steve Kerr and his lineup or rotational or minute distribution antics in back to backs. The guy just, I don't know, something about him the last 2, 3 years when he's in a back to back situation. Just, I don't know. The injury report could show up with something 10 minutes before we start here. I don't trust him in these types of situations to give me the full complement of Warriors for the full complement of minutes in a back to back. I think the Clippers will obviously take this one extremely seriously. You are right. Both sides are kind of like the old dudes. Golden State loves to play with more pace than the Clippers do. But I think the price is right here to play Los Angeles in this instance. Like you say, 20-point loss to Portland by Golden State in back-to-back did come with travel. This is back in reference to the person in the chat who asked us the question about back-to-backs earlier. The reason why my play is smaller here again is because Golden State's home and not, taken to the road to LA. But I do think LA is the right side. Yeah, that third quarter. Wow.
Yeah, that third quarter, we shall see if they keep that going. But they are in a back to back. They may fade in that third quarter this time around. We shall see. Um, I, I wanna, Nah, this game is probably the hardest one. So I think this is when I stay on the sideline. I'm trying to give you guys a little something. Maybe bet on Kaminga some way, shape, or form. Like he is the young guy over there for Golden State. I would expect him to be the freshest, even if they're losing or whatever. He probably still would be playing more than some of these other older guys. So something for Kaminga. I'm just not sure what would probably be what I try to get to. DJ May says, "Hey, I found the show live. Just want to say how much I appreciate your guys' work. Thank you again. Appreciate you. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for watching. All right, that is the NBA slate, So I think we did a pretty good job. Did take us 33 and a half minutes, but we did a little in depth on all 5 NBA games for tonight, and we'll leave it at that. So I'm gonna ask your help here, Vino. Isn't this available again now? It's well, first off, actually, $5 Tuesday. Let's not forget that, right? That's always going. So you can go to Rob's page, my page. You can find a play that we really like. You can get it for just $5. See, if you want to rock with us for a longer term or however that may go. Outside of that, I did go 4-1 Sunday, 1-2 yesterday. So 5-3 week in football. Vino's been killing it more than me. And I'll let him say his numbers in a second. But with the weekend warrior promo, he'll get you every football play from Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night football for only $49. So Vino, with that said, I'm gonna pass it back to you. Let the people know how much you've been killing it in football. If there's anything else you would like to promote, feel free. And if you have a best bet for the show, we would love to hear it.
The last thing I'll say, Skee, is this is I think it expires tonight. the Wager Talk NBA opening week offer. I think they're offering the opening week for $69. I think if you get in, you can still get a week, but I think that offer goes away at midnight tonight. So if you like what we're giving you here on the NBA, I know Skee's been running pretty good. I'm 5-2 to start this season, so we're both on a decent pace here.
That one, right?
Yeah, that one right there, I think goes away after tonight. I'm pretty sure. So if you want to get in on that, go right ahead. As far as football goes, the NFL has been kind. I mentioned the numbers earlier, full season up over 50 units. Last 6 weeks have been even better, up over, it's like 62 point something units off back-to-back 7-1 weekends, 14-2 the last 2 weeks in NFL
Nice
action. So
work.
again, Weekend Warrior package up and available for all 3 days this weekend. And I don't know how they treat that, Skee. Like, can you get Thursday night included? I'm not sure. I think it's
I don't
just
think
Saturday,
Thursday's
Sunday,
included.
Monday.
Yeah, it's just
It's just
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah. Otherwise, you got to do a little something different with them. But we'll go back to best bets here real quick here. And listen, you guys saw me pause the show. I talked myself into one. Skee shoved me over the edge, so I had to open an app and put in the action. But the Sacramento Kings team total over 108.5 to me just seems like the right way to play that game. I think OKC may be a little lax on defense. They are missing some couple of key defenders here, including Alex Caruso. Even if you're just missing him, it's a key defender. Back home off a tough game last night. I don't know that I trust Sacramento enough to cover a game, but I certainly trust those guys to shoot the ball and score. Sabonis came back last game, Skee, and I think Sacramento had 104 field goal attempts their last game. They get that many shots up, we're going to get 109 points. So once again, best bet for today, Sacramento Kings team total up and over 108.5.
Good stuff from Rob Veno. For myself, I'm going to go with one that I'm unsure if I mentioned it during the game breakdown, but I'll go with Cole Anthony over 3.5 assists. And he didn't play the last game because of an illness, but the first game, he only got 11 minutes. He had 5 assists. That was the game KPJ started. He went down. They're trying to figure stuff out. Rollins is playing. Cole Anthony's playing. 11 minutes. He still got 5 assists. The next game, big uptick, right? You don't have KPJ still. I forget, he plays 20-something minutes, scores 23 points, has like 7 assists, right? So, and I think that game was also minus Kuzma, so he probably had a little bit more boost in points. But my thing is, they need somebody who's going to be a playmaker when Giannis is not on the floor or doesn't have the ball. And I trust him more than I trust Rollins. Cole Anthony, really good pick and roll player. He can deal with multiple players on this roster. And when I look at the Knicks, that's poor pick and roll defense. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, we just saw Indiana doing it to him over and over and over again in the playoffs. So I think Cole Anthony can get 4 assists tonight. I did glance at his points and assist prop, but once Kuzma was ruled in, I just stuck with the assist at 3.5. And that's what I'll use for the best bet for the show. So I think we did a pretty good job here, Vino. Appreciate you. Well, first of all, it's good to have you back. I appreciate you taking the time to come cap the card and the games with us. Helps out my process, and I'm sure it helps everybody else as well. Everybody in the comments, good stuff. Much appreciated. You guys help make the show what it is. Good cappers, good people, and we all just help each other cash. So let's try to keep it going one more day. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll talk the big NBA slate, and yeah, best of luck on all your action. We will catch you all then.